That's good. This looks good. Alrighty. Give it a few minutes, see if anyone wants to pop in. Slide all that over. Hey, a notification. It's always a plus, right? I want to open that. Open this. NFL. I probably gotta slide that over and see if anyone wants to stop in and hang out tonight. What's up, Ape? Ooh, this looks way off. What the fuck? Oh yeah, I know why. Okay. There we go. That looked really weird. What's up, Ape? What's up, what's up, Jags? What's up, Jacob? What's up, Trey? How you guys all doing? Welcome, welcome. Kind of big news in the NFL today. Eric Bieniemy finally is leaving the Chiefs for it's kind of a lateral move, but I would say it's not really a lateral move. Huge pay increase, 100% control of the offense. It's basically his, rather than like being kind of, Andy Reid's assistant play caller. Uh-oh, what's going on with my internet right now? Yeah, Derek Carr is going to look at the Jets. You can't stay tonight? For sure. Have fun watching the NBA All-Star stuff. Yeah, South Park came back. They've had 2 episodes now. One episode they made fun of the man. My stream's acting weird today. It keeps dropping kilobytes for whatever reason. Not really sure why it's doing that. And then the first episode, I believe they made fun of Kanye West and shit. Yeah, Derek Carr's going to the Jets this Saturday. Nah, I think the problem with Bieniemy and being a head coach is who is he calling the plays, or is Andy Reid calling the plays? Like what side of that do you believe is actually more responsible for the success of the Chiefs? Do you believe that it's Andy Reid, or do you believe that it's Bieniemy's play calling? Like who is the actual brains of the operation there? And I think that's been like the tension with hiring him. And I've heard a couple people say his interviews kind of can be a little weird. A few former players say he has this like super weird energy when he talks to players. But I've also seen that spun in a more positive light with Bieniemy, as like he's not really afraid to tell players like when they're done, when their like career's over. He's very direct, and that can rub a lot of players in a wrong way. For example, I believe you heard of LaShawn McCoy saying some bad things, like he doesn't know how to talk to players. He's a bit aggressive, like he says shit that he shouldn't say. And you're like, oh, what did he say? And then you find out he's like, all he did was tell Shady that he's not as good as he thinks he is anymore. And it's just like, oh, well, I mean, at some point somebody's got to tell him that. It's tough to hear, but I don't really see that as a negative. I see that as a coach who isn't really afraid of like telling very good players, potential Hall of Famers, like, hey man, we're not using you because like you're not up to speed anymore. Either play fucking better, or like are you at the end? We'll make a contender move for a quarterback. Like, it feels too good to be true. I know it's highly possible, but we'll see. Why do you think that about? I think the Jets actually making a very aggressive move for a contender quarterback, because I like when I look at that team outside of like building the offensive line in the draft and maybe a free agent. What do they need? You know what I mean? I mean, retain CJ Mosley. Like, they're returning quite potentially 2 guys who should have been Rookie of the Year candidates in Wilson and Breece Hall. They're gonna, they have very good, like, pretty good receiving core. Yeah, they almost made the playoffs. I mean, if they didn't lose Breece Hall, there's a very good odds that they're actually like a playoff team last year. So that's kind of how I view the Jets. If they don't go get like a Carr or a Rodgers who can put them in the playoffs, then it's like they're wasting a really good young team. Like it's just a waste. It's like, well, that's the Jets for you, fucking retards. Time to fire Joe Douglas because he can't pick quarterbacks up. Yeah, do you know he's the reason they drafted Wilson over everybody else that they could have drafted? You know what's even funnier about that? I've read stories where he would have tried to convince the Jets if they had the number 1 pick all season long, or like the whole time. He'd been trying to convince the team, the organization, that Zach Wilson was not only the best available prospect at 2, if Lawrence goes 1, he's the best overall prospect even ahead of Trevor Lawrence. That's how highly Joe Douglas, for some reason, thought of Zach Wilson. He did the same thing over in Chicago with Mitch Trubisky. He put him as the number 1 guy over Watson and Mahomes. Mahomes is understandable because like that was kind of like a shot in the dark move, but it's like, yeah, he's very talented, but will system quarterback work in the NFL? You're never too sure. You're never 100% positive that would work out. Oh, they might. I don't know. They tend to not like touch stuff like that when there's like weird real world serious implication on it. Like it's kind of, I don't know, like if he's actually guilty of sex trafficking, it's not like there's not really anything funny about that. And it's just kind of dark. But if not, then man, they'll probably make fun of him. I don't know. They don't really go into like, mainly maybe because he's a self-help guy, they might, but like I kind of doubt it. So I don't know. Jets should be in the market for a quarterback. If they don't, they're kind of blowing it all up. Yeah, they didn't really touch Epstein or anything like that, if I remember right, though, because it's like that's there's dark, and then it's just they're not really dark. They're satire. Some stuff is like, yeah, I probably shouldn't touch like potential children victims. You know what I mean? Like, there's a line you don't really want to like. What's there to satirize there? It's like, yeah, that guy's just a piece of shit. We shouldn't touch that one. I don't know. That's just how I kind of view that situation. Again, if he's found not guilty or anything like that, you know what I mean? Like he's not like a guilty person, then yeah, they'll probably fuck around with it. If they even care. I doubt they give a fuck about that. Those guys are like billionaires, dude. I don't think they really give a fuck. You ever notice how they just kind of do whatever they feel like? You got to have serious money. Anyway. So I have a fun tweet to show you guys about all the roles that have been filled this offseason. We're pretty much done with coaches being hired now that Gannon was hired by the Cardinals, like we said was going to happen last time we did a football talk. We're like, oh yeah, Gannon's going to what's it called? Arizona. That was an easy call. As soon as I realized like what they were doing, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Gannon. Here's all the the only spots, like I think Kansas City has an open offensive coordinator job. Denver does, Philly does, Indianapolis does, and Arizona does. Mainly Indy, Arizona, and Denver because they have new coaches. Philly lost theirs to be the Colts' new head coach, and Kansas City obviously just lost Bieniemy. But I don't think there's actually like an opening in Kansas City because I think Matt Nagy's expected to take that. So I don't really know why you put that guy there. Pretty sure the quarterback coach in Philly's also just getting promoted, I read. But, I mean, I guess we'll see about all that if that actually, like, holds true. Then defensive coordinators, obviously, Philadelphia just lost Gannon. Denver. Oh, yeah, they don't have anybody. Where'd everybody? Oh, damn, the stream died. All right, well, I guess it's just dead tonight, huh? Everybody came in and said, nah. Was there something else going on tonight that I don't know about? Or am I just ending the stream early? I guess. Is anyone even going to say anything? No? All right, well. I'll give it a few more minutes. If no one wants to pop in, I'm gonna end the stream. I'm not gonna spend my time on this. This ain't worth my time. Fucking nobody here, nobody saying anything. I'll just dip. What's up, Danny? You're probably not gonna be. I'm not gonna be live for much longer. I'm not really here to just. If I want to just monologue, I just make videos. Like, it's not what I'm live streaming for. So, what are you guys up to, huh? I'm probably into the stream in a few minutes here. I'm not really about to do this for nobody. Into a crowd that's not going to say anything or like engage. All right, well, no one's going to say anything. I guess I'm done then. Good talk, good conversation. I don't really have too much John Jones comeback. Yeah, I guess. I guess. My channel really struggles until something starts happening. I wish I had people who actually gave a shit about the channel other than like the 2 or 3 people watching. It's like, why do half the football people watch? No, I'm good. I'm in a great mood. I don't know why everyone just left. The stream was doing good, then it just died. I don't even know what happened. I'm like, oh, I must have upset everybody because everybody left all out at the same exact time. Must have triggered a bunch of fucking stupid libtards. It happens. Whenever you insult Andrew Tate, everybody leaves because they get butt hurt really bad. You could smell the. No, yeah, and I said something negative about him. I hurt all their pussies. It is what it is. Sometimes you gotta hurt some pussies. He's bald and he's fucking a sex trafficker. I'm sorry to tell you about it. They don't hold people for no reason. Oh, people set him up. Not really. No one did. Do you even know what gaslighter means? Just curious. Like, are you using that correctly, or are you using that in like the way you just like you gas people up, or like a contrarian? I guess is the right word. Because like technically gaslighting is lying to someone so much that they start to believe it. I believe, like it's a very intentional way of fucking with somebody, of like emotional manipulation. I believe. And like getting upset with them if they don't believe your crazy ass lies to the point where like they go, I guess that was right. Like you can gaslight a bitch into thinking she cheated on you and feeling terrible. I appreciate that, Danny. Like I think that's what gaslight means. Nah, it's a little different. That's just being like a troll. I think people overuse the word gaslighting because I think there's like an actual term like that comes for like it's all super connected, you know what I mean, like that, like word just like very specific. But the like just being a dick, just being a contrarian is how you make everybody mad. Just be like, all right. Nerd. Well, you're a fucking nerd, dude. You watch people fight for fun. Look how strong he is, dude. I'm just fucking around. So here's my hot take on the Commanders hiring Eric Bieniemy. I think Carson Wentz turns into Patrick Mahomes, and Mahomes now will turn into Mitch Trubisky because he's stuck with Matt Nagy. Thoughts? I mean, I think that's how that works. So I think we got to watch out for the second coming of Carson Wentz now. I think the revival process starts now. I don't even think that's too crazy of a take. Everyone told me, Eric Bieniemy's the next great thing. So it's like, well, Carson Wentz is out in for a fucking crazy rise this year, huh? He's not that much different than Mahomes other than, just kind of fucking turnover prone. It's starting to do better. I don't know. Appreciate it. I didn't know it was the All-Star weekend, or else I wouldn't have went live this weekend probably. I'd have been like, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys for the XFL. Because isn't there a UFC card tomorrow even, too? Or did they even go, yeah, we're not doing the All-Star event? Oh, glad, Danny. I'm glad you're feeling good. Yeah, I didn't know it was already the All-Star break tomorrow night. There is a UFC card tomorrow night? What's who's oh. Yeah. Well, I'm not on it, so of course. In my alter ego of fuck. I don't look like any UFC fighter, so I can't pretend like I'm a UFC fighter in my off time. I'm actually Conor McGregor. Nobody knows that. If I shave, I could maybe look a little bit like him. I think I'm too tall. That's the problem. I got too big a head. What's up, Seth? Neighbors are getting down, dude. They're boogieing. Sounds like they're having a good old time. Listen to good music, too. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, how old are these people? It's like they sound young, but like they're listening to like, they always listen to like fucking 60s, 70s, and 80s music. And I'm like, they can't just like blues, rock and roll like that much. I'm always thrown off when certain young folks listen to old people music. It's like, oh, that's a little weird. I guess it wasn't written for old people. It was written for young people. So, it is what it is. You don't like 1990s. You don't like Green Day. You don't like Nirvana. You don't like any of them kind of people. Eminem. I guess Eminem's 2000s. You don't like Tupac. You don't like Biggie. You don't like anybody from the 90s. 90s was a really underrated era of music. It was like one of the last great booms, I would say, for a lot of like weird. What's up, Extra? How's it going, buddy? Oh boy, you're back. How you doing? No, you're fine, man. I don't care. You don't have to say. Listen, man. Whenever you never have to say sorry. Like, listen, I don't hold grudges like that. Unless you're the guy who comes in and creates fake accounts and spams, then you can go fuck yourself. But I mean, that guy said some unforgivable shit to me. But like everybody else, I don't really hold. I get over things relatively quickly. I was raised to just let it go. Eminem's your favorite rapper? Yeah, probably mine too. I'm not much of a rap fan though. Yeah, I remember that, Jackson. I was like, all right, well, if that's the case, then I'm getting out of here. And then I left. Yeah, why would I stream to 0 people? Like, well, if nobody wants to watch, I'm not going to bother anybody. So it is what it is on that, you know? I don't know. Maybe not. They typically don't do well. No. Well, Madden does okay from time to time, but like, I don't know. I don't really enjoy playing Madden, so I don't really want to play that, and I don't really feel like buying a goddamn new console just to play MLB all the time. So I don't, you know what I mean? It's like this weird place where I'm like, I just wish MLB The Show would come to computer. I'd buy it every year. Where do I think Burrow's at? It's like if the Harry Potter game can release on PC, why the fuck can't MLB The Show release on PC? That sounds stupid to me. And it's because Sony, right, thinks that they won't make any money releasing that game on PC. When you know what one of the most demanded games for PC is? Fuck MLB The Show. Just release it. You'll sell millions of copies to PC gamers across the world. It'll be one of the most popular ways that game is played for forever. I guarantee it. We don't know if people could. Yeah, we can all run it. I can run Harry Potter on very good graphics, I can run MLB The Show. It's not that difficult a game. Sports games aren't that crazy. Now, if it's not made for the next gen, if it's only made for new consoles and going forward, the next version of the show, and never mind, they have to make it for the old ones. But they don't, then it's probably going to be PC as well, which will be cool. But with Burrow, you broke, what's up, Astros fan? I broke multiple tackles on just one kick return for the touchdown. And yeah, Madden's broken. I'm not a big fan of that. We need another game to be able to be made for Madden. Because, like, if there's multiple versions of a license out, even for just a year or two where they do unexclusivity and give multiple companies, hey, who can make the best football game? EA would literally create the greatest football game ever made. They'd fuck themselves because everyone would be like, all right, we're going to all play Madden 24 and it's the greatest game we've all ever seen. Because they have the resources, the ability, the know-how to make an unreal football game. They just don't do it because they don't have to. Because also, if they do that, nobody would ever buy another version. They'd all just keep playing like Madden 23, update the rosters, and keep it running in ad nauseum. So if they could make 2K, if like 2K could get one, or if somebody else could get one, then it would be big. It would really help out EA because they need the competitive push to make a better game. I think the exclusivity license is up rather soon for Madden, or for EA anyway. And I think 2K's already got, like, they were promised they'll get a license to make simulations so they can actually make the games with the players. They're developing an engine for it. Like, they're fully expecting to be able to soon. So, and I think that a lot of people are accusing, like, the fact that they're, like, very much getting up, like preparing to make another football game, which is why you've seen, like, their basketball games kind of take a shit dive. But yeah, okay, back to the Burrow thing. Yeah, I heard NHL makes a really good game. So does FIFA. I've never really heard people bitch about FIFA or NHL 2K series, or the NHL on EA or 2K. I've never really heard any complaints for those two series from EA, which is crazy. Does EA put all their money into FIFA? They're just like, all right, all that Madden money, put it into fucking FIFA. Because I've heard from people who hate soccer, like, they don't even fuck with it. They're like, FIFA's the best sports game. But yeah, so Burrow. Right, so Mahomes is clearly one. That's where we're sitting, right? Like, we all kind of agree with that. Mahomes is probably the best in football now that Tommy's retired. Then we go to 2. And you have to take, are we doing, like, based on, like, last season, just how we feel heading into this season with, like, knowing everything about their careers? Or is it just like you only can really base this off what you've seen last year? Because I have kind of a different ordering for what I would consider to be like a top 5 if you were to just give me some, like, light stipulations on this one. Mainly because it's like, well, there's like 2 different ways I could order this. In both scenarios, Mahomes is 1. In one scenario, Rodgers is 2. In the other, Burrow's 2. You know what I mean? Because, like, we're running out of old quarterbacks. So it's like, yeah, Burrow's up in the top 5 just because we're, like, the only good old quarterback we got left is what, fucking Aaron Rodgers. Like, Kirk Cousins isn't better than Joe Burrow, so fuck that. He's not better than Herbert. He's not better than, like, any of the guys that I could name that would I consider in the top. Would he be top 10 Kirk Cousins at this point? Yeah, because we're just running out of good quarterbacks at some point. Hell, Mac Jones is starting to chisel his way up toward the top just because. Well, actually, I think I'd put Allen as number 2. Well, no, Allen's 3 on both my lists. You know why I put Josh Allen beneath Joe Burrow? Because I don't necessarily believe that Josh Allen would be Josh Allen if he didn't have Stephon Diggs. if that makes sense. Like if you take away Stephon Diggs, do we still think that Josh Allen breaks out the way he does? 'Cause again, remember, he's a fucking safety valve. That guy is, again, he probably still plays better and he still becomes a good quarterback in the league. But like, is he like a near MVP candidate or like the favorite to win the MVP heading into this season without Stephon Diggs? Burrow didn't have Chase this year and the offense scored like 30 every game without him. We don't really know what Josh Allen would look like without Diggs because I don't think Diggs has missed any games since he came to Buffalo. Whereas like we seen what young Burrow could do. He fucking balled out with Higgins. I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to do that because like he's got Boyd and Higgins as well. He's got talent all around him and he's got good tight end play. Yeah, that's what I've made that statement too. He's literally, and that Irwin guy's a great slot receiver. Like, dude, they're stacked. They're fucking loaded with talent for him. One of the things that the Bengals do incredibly well is just like the Steelers for some reason, those two teams can draft receivers and pick receivers. Like it's not even a challenge for them. That's part of the reason why Andy Dalton succeeded for so long because he was throwing to Mohamed Sanu, Marvin Jones Jr., and AJ Green, obviously. Your Raiders franchise, you're 9-0-2 so far. How do you have two losses? That's pretty crazy. Jalen Reagor's on the Eagles. Yeah, that's one of my favorite draft moments. Yeah, but Andy Dalton had 3 number ones. Well, I guess Mohamed Sanu's more of a 2. But Andy Dalton had some unreal talent to work with when he was playing quarterback for Cincinnati, which follows a rich tradition of the Bengals always having good receivers, right? When Carson Palmer was there, they had TJ Houshmandzadeh, Chad Johnson, or Chad Ochocinco. And I think they had another really good receiver in that mix. So, yeah, the Bengals historically are just really good at, like, filling their team with receivers. It doesn't take them long. Yeah, the Eagles, man, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how they didn't win. They choked. No, they didn't. I guess their defense did because their offense played great. The Eagles did. The Eagles' offense played so great. Did you guys hear what they're going to do? You know the little victory formation, like, rugby punch that they were doing? The Eagles? They're banning that shit. They're gonna move to outlaw that formation and that play. Bengals choked. 100%. I will say the Bengals choked in that game. They could have won that easily if they just played better offense. And then to watch the Chiefs just gave up 35 in the Super Bowl and like 500 yards. I'm like, yeah, the Bengals choked. Bengals just kind of shit the bed that time. Yeah. Well, the Bengals offense did nothing. Well, I guess the offensive line finally got to him, yeah. Yeah, the Vikings historically always find very good receivers. You can look back to Randy Moss at one point they had dude, I think they had Randy Moss and Chris Carter on the same roster. It's like, dude, what? I wasn't fair. Some teams just don't really. The Lions, actually, if you go look at their receivers, they really don't draft bad receivers. They just draft a lot of them. But like they've had Roy Williams, they had Calvin Johnson, now they have Amon-Ra. Not bad. Like, for a team that typically kind of isn't known for its offense or outside of running backs. I don't know. I guess that's only 3 receivers that I can name that the Lions have had that have been good. They don't really do so well. Eagles defense played good. Yeah. How do I think the Browns and the Cowboys? Browns should be massively improved as long as Deshaun isn't just like actually finished, right? Like he should improve. He should be ready to go. The rust will be knocked off. He'll have the preseason to work some more shit out. He'll be a little bit more comfortable. The Browns will probably have another receiver added into the offense. I'm guessing they're probably going to wind up with Hopkins somehow. I won't swear to that, but that feels right. You know what I mean? So they'll probably be radically improved. Plus, there was a lot of Browns players that were hurt last year. And like, okay, so is it me or did the Browns feel like they just kind of went, fuck it? Like if a player like sprained their ankle, they were out for 4 weeks. It's like, that's a little weird. Like they didn't seem like, I think the whole team just kind of threw that season aside and were like, we'll try sometimes. And then like they got a pretty decent pick and things are looking all right. They could trade it. I don't know. I think the Browns should be pretty improved next year. I think there's a few teams that like the Browns, the Broncos, should be radically improved records wise. And then the Cowboys, they should be pretty solid. Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the top spots Hopkins wants to go to. But there's also some news about Hopkins. You know how he had a no trade clause? That was terminated. It was voided because I think in order to get the no trade clause, he can't get suspended. I think that was it. It was like a stipulation on his no trade that he has to like not get suspended. It's just like, oh, and well, we all know what happened to DeAndre and why he missed 6 games last year because of the steroid suspension. Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's really close with Deshaun Watson. Yeah, he would. Of course he would. Those two made a lot of fucking noise together those were his best years as a receiver. Amari Cooper and him together as a receiving tandem is really nice sounding. And then with the Cowboys, they should be as good as they were last year. I don't really see any dip coming, especially since like there's like this weird energy. I don't know if you guys follow this or have heard of this. There's like a less than 0% shot that somehow in this offseason, either Trayvon or Stephon are on new teams. The Diggs brothers. I think they're both going to be Cowboys. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overthinking this. I don't know why I think this, but it feels like the Cowboys are going to wind up with Stephon Diggs. There's been a lot of weird energy going on with that whole thing. I don't know if you followed that whole like saga and that drama that's been going on there. My water? Good. I live in Michigan, man. I don't know. Why would it be bad? Yeah, I don't live in Flint, by the way. I live in the middle of Michigan, so I don't... Why? What's up? Just normal water? I don't know. I hope you know your geography there, Ape, or Jags. You're not trying to make an Ohio joke. The water of Michigan goes into Ohio. It's not the other way around. So, we're like the only reason they might have clean water in the next couple years. Yeah, I don't anymore, dude. I moved. I moved 1, 2, 3 years ago. I moved prior to the pandemic, man. The dude's trying to make a joke that would have worked 4 years ago, back prior to when the world was normal. He's like, I'm about to roast this dude for where he used to live. And it would have been fine. Dude, do you want to know what you do when you have a water situation like that? You just throw a Brita filter on. And the water's perfectly fine. And then if you really want to be fancy, you buy an additional like picture filter, you fill that up and it filters the water, and then you put the filter on it, and then it filters it for a third time. Yeah, there was only one car carrying trains and it didn't catch on fire. It was cleaned up and nothing bad happened. Yeah, don't just get your news from social media or like from fear porn. Yeah, there was one train car that had some stuff in it, and it didn't catch on fire. It got cleaned up, and nothing seeped out of it. Wow. Sounds like quite the different scenario than Ohio, where it exploded. Like a fucking nuclear bomb. You see the difference there? I don't even know why. Yeah, cool. It's not even a story. You want to know why it's not a story? Because there wasn't anything bad from it. It's like, oh, it's just another train derailment. Train derailments aren't even a story. I don't even know why that. Like that. The only reason that one is because it's just fucking basically gave a little bit of fucking cancer to half of Ohio. And it fucks some shit up. I'm sure. I don't really know chemicals that well, but I don't think phosphine gas is a good thing to have seeping around in your ground. I think that's gonna be pretty bad. I think that's the difference here, right? Like most train derailments aren't carrying that kind of shit on it. Most of the time, it pop off. It just happens. I think there's something like 1,100, 1,200 train derailments a year. So it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, we got to fix that. Obviously, it's a big deal. And that's why the fucking things like infrastructure bills are so important and good to pass, because we got to fucking get this shit upgraded. Things like this are just going to keep happening if we just don't get this shit upgraded. But anyway. Is what it is. Justin Fields may be traded this year with a different team. I don't know about all that. Sounds like the Bears have kind of said that they're not trading him. Then all of a sudden everybody's like, yeah, but they're actually going to trade him. And it's like, well, what do you have to make that assumption? Yeah, ESPN said they're going to do it anyway. Are we still getting our news from these fucking NFL reporters? Is that what we're doing still? I don't actually think it's a good idea to get news from these people anymore. I think they're genuinely just making shit up 80% of the time. That's why I'm not the biggest fan of speculation anymore, because it's like everybody got, like every single piece of media got it wrong last year regarding Rodgers. They're like, where is he going to go? And it's like, well, I guess he's going to stay in Green Bay. And then there wasn't like one single piece of media that said that. I mean, if you listen to Aaron when he spoke, it sounded like he was either playing in Green Bay or retiring last year. And it sounds like this year, because things didn't go so good in Green Bay this year, now he's like, I'm either leaving or retiring. I mean, I don't know. It seems like that's the vibe you get. With like a very small shot, he just sticks around. And then like nobody in the media ran with that angle. And it's like, well, that's weird. Why didn't anybody predict this? And it's like, oh, okay. Because they're not actually like interested in like actually reporting on things. They just make shit up. There's half of them shows are just about as legitimate as what I'm doing. I could just start saying things and being like, I heard it from a source. That Jamar Chase would rather catch throws from a real QB like Mac Jones. Called Joe Burrow a bitch ass motherfucker with that looks like Macaulay Culkin. It's like, how could you take that seriously? You're never going to win a Super Bowl looking like the Home Alone kid. You know what I mean? Like, you could just say that and be like, oh, I heard it from a source, and a high level NFL executive. Who can check you on that? Like, what are they going to do if it doesn't happen? Be like, I guess it didn't happen. I guess he changed his mind. Just like, where did you even hear that? I can't reveal my sources. And it's like, I don't know if I like any of that. We might be busy watching the XFL. We're trying to watch the Battlehawks go undefeated on this channel. We're a Battlehawks fan channel. I also don't want to see Jake Paul lose that fight. Is there a chance he actually loses that shit to Fury? I don't know. Fighting's pretty boring though, in my humble opinion. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he could actually get beat pretty good in that fight. I heard that dude broke somebody's jaw or something like that. I don't know about all that. I think he does both, doesn't he? Or is this one a boxer and his brother is the one that does both? Or do they both do both? I think they're dual fight. I think they're doing a boxing fight and then he's going to turn around and do MMA against him. Or something like that. I know Paul's been training to do an MMA fight. But I think he's fighting what? Who's he fighting? One of the Diaz brothers? Is that right? Why do I want to say that's 100% right? I know he's going to do a UFC-style fight versus somebody, but I can't remember who. I want to say it's one of the Diaz brothers. Which is really funny to think about. It's like in there. That's why he's training for jiu-jitsu, though. That's what I thought. I know he's training for, like, to do it, like, you know, it's like a non-zero chance he does the fight, but That's hilarious. Ugh. I'm gonna make this a pay-per-view stream, so anybody who doesn't come to this while it's live, they're fucked. Fuck them. You think he's gonna win by uppercut? How much taller is he than Tommy? It's kind of a height-dependent move to win, to get a good one to not win by uppercut, in my opinion. Like it's kind of hard to win by. It feels like, because you got to be like the right height advantage, and usually like they don't let people box at though where the advantage is there. Oh, in MMA, okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah, okay, different thing. My bad. I thought he was talking about boxing. I was like, I don't know, man. It's fucking hard to. You got to be like the right size to uppercut somebody and beat him. And isn't like Tommy even maybe taller than him or the same height? Well, it's not really pay-per-view. It's just I'm gonna put it on the members only. I'm not gonna let the non-paying people have this one. This one's gonna be expensive. It's gonna be $1.99 a month. But you know, if you become a no, I just start pretending it's like OnlyFans on there. Be like, yeah, you see my whole asshole on the member side. Jags knows. He knows what kind of videos are over there. They're fucking crazy. I blow stuff up. I get into fights with midgets and shit. Pretty crazy. Really, it's just a lot of Madden streams that I just was like, yeah, I don't think these should just be public. These are the good shit. It's just awful Madden streams. I just don't want to have in my note. Like, all right, I got to trim out some of these videos I made in the past, but I can't afford to lose the views yet. It'll be nice when my channel gets going, so I could just blow out half the back of, I can just blow out like 1,200 videos. Back there we go. Now it doesn't look like I just made a shitload of content over the last 4 years. With the old saying, eventually people will subscribe. Just keep making more of it. There's nothing, I tell everybody when they become members, there's zero reason to hold a membership on this channel. I very much appreciate it, but like, until a bunch of more people start doing it, I don't really see the reason to. I can't like do a members only stream. Do you know how fucking stupid that would be at this point? Like, all right, the one person who's a member can chat and the rest of you just have to watch. Everybody would leave. They'd be like, I don't want to watch this. This is fucking stupid. Nope, but this is the sign that NFL content's dead. Nobody's showing up, so I'm not doing any more NFL streams for a while. People can come in and talk about football, but, you know, it's never going to be the lead subject again for a while. Not till there's substantial need for it. No, again, I appreciate you, Jags. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man. Again, eventually there will be something for the members. I don't really know what I'm gonna do, but at some point, yeah. But my channel's so fucking small. I can't hold any kind of consistent, like my viewership is like weirdly like temperamental. In the next month, you're gonna see a bunch of people you've never seen before come flooding into this channel. And you'd be like, it's not that dramatic. Oh, it'll be crazy. You won't even know who half these people are. And we won't see some people again until fall. I have like a very bipolar audience. It's fucking very season dependent. Like they'll pop in and be like, hey, how's it going? And then they'll leave. And it's like, oh, okay, that was fun. That was terrifying. I'm sure if I was a Red Sox fan, I'd have a lot more consistent viewership, but I'm a Tigers fan, so they don't really pop in. Baseball's fun though. I just got to kind of survive for another. I think next Saturday games start. I'm pretty excited for baseball though. I think Monday or Tuesday will be a baseball stream. Not sure which one. I'm thinking Tuesday. Very excited. A little stick ball. There's actually quite a bit to talk about too. We got bigger ass bases coming in soon. We got a pitch clock and there's new balk rules. I'm so excited about the new pitching rules. They actually have a pitch clock now, where you have about 15 to 20 seconds. I can't remember off the top of my head. I believe it's 20 from with nobody on and 15 with runners on, or it's vice versa. So that way you can't spend fucking a minute just holding the baseball like a cocksucker. Dude, I hated that. Literally, that was one of the biggest problems with baseball is the pacing of the pitcher. Make him throw it faster. Fuck him. And take away all them back leg kicks that people were doing. That's fucking a balk. I see. I knew it was balks. I was like, why are they letting these people like just kick their legs like the way that they are? It's never mind. It's a autistic bullshit nobody really cares about. To being a professional boxer and a world champion, I think people look at him as a joke because, well, yeah. I mean, he didn't really come into it in a traditional manner, so of course, people tend to reject the untraditional approach until it's until it works. Hey, thank you again, Jax. I appreciate you, man. But yeah, it's probably a little tough. By the way, if you haven't left a like, consider doing so. It'll help the stream out, by the way. I think there's only like 6 likes on the stream, so if you haven't dropped one, you might want to pop one on there. That'd be helpful. Yeah. We do. We're gonna do a lot. We do a lot. I think we did like 100+ Tigers games last summer. So yeah. I only stream Tigers games, so I don't fuck with any other team like that. Except I like the Padres. The Detroit Tigers, until I see otherwise. Tigers winning the World Series. Dude, listen, I'm the word. Like, I can't objectively pick baseball. What's up, Daniel? Like, I openly admit this. I'm so biased in baseball. Like, if you want my actual thoughts, probably or the Indians or the whatever. What the fuck are they right now? The Guardians. Cleveland's team's probably winning the Central. And then World Series. I like the Padres if they can stay healthy, and if they can get Tatis back at a decent point this year, and he comes in playing, I think Padres will be very dangerous in the National League. And I see no reason why the Astros don't repeat the AFC or the AL. Dude, it's gonna be a minute before I get these baseball terms right. So I see the Astros Padres World Series. With the Astros possibly repeating. They'd returned a lot of starters on that Astros team. Yeah, it's Poseidon. He got beat up by Brandon Buckingham or whatever. Pirates will be a hot mess. Again, I love McCutchen returning back to the team. Yeah, I mean, the Pirates could be pretty decent. Mike Tyson doesn't want to box him because he would destroy him. Yeah, Mike wouldn't be able to help himself. You like that, man? Oh yeah, I've heard it was. I heard audiences like it. Critics don't like it though, but we'll fucking fuck critics. Yeah, I mean they lost Verlander, but I mean Verlander's also 40. So it's like yeah they lost him, but it's not like the end of the world. It's good. Well, it won't be helpful. But did you see how much the Mets are paying? What is it? 2 years, $86 million for Verlander. He might quite like be my favorite starting pitcher ever. I wouldn't have touched that kind of money. That seems crazy to me. Yeah, there we go. We're up to a whole bad 7 likes. I appreciate that, everybody. I'm glad everybody's deciding to hold back for some reason on the likes tonight. It only helps the stream out, and I'm glad you guys are like, yeah, we don't want to actively help the stream out. We're done with that. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, the Tigers are going to be pretty bad. All things considered, they got rid of like all their MLB ready players, and they're just running a really like incredibly young baseball team. A lot of guys will be debuting. A lot of guys will be like first year players, second year players. It's going to be quite the experiment the Tigers are about to run. Outside of their pitching staff has decent experience, but it's like that's only mainly because a bunch of young guys are hurt, and as the young guys get healthier, they'll be eventually shredding out the old players and putting in the young guys. But maybe 58, 55. Dude, you don't understand. They're a really young team right now. They got name some players you think the Tigers might still have. Don't name like top rookies like fucking Riley Green or Spencer Torrey. Like that's like a dumb thing to do. Like yeah, they got rid of their like future for no reason. Like if you name a player, they probably got rid of him. Like if you were like Jamer Candelario, he's gone. The Castros, both gone. Yeah, Miguel's back for his last year, but like that doesn't really mean much. Yeah, the Mets. No, the Mets problem is they always get hurt. All their best players, they spend all this money and then everybody gets hurt. So, I don't know. Mets are just cursed. Oh, Dave Roberts, he's back on the Dodgers winning it all. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we're going all the way. Yeah, you say that every year, Dave. Is he still their manager, or is he step down or doing something else? You know what's funny? I actually thought it was that really old guy that used to coach Torrey. I thought Torrey was their manager, and he was like 90 years old and was just like a dinosaur managing that team at this point. But I guess that's not actually what was going on. Yeah, everybody got hurt on the Tigers, and then they fired the GM/president in Al Avila, and now they have a new guy. Nah, they changed everything, and they have no veterans left. That could go really good or really bad. I mean, it could be a good team. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. Like, this is one of the first years I've ever looked at the Tigers and went, I've got no idea what this team's going to look like. Like, they have so many guys that are, like, seemingly only on this team to, like, hold a spot for with, like, a rookie. And it's just like, well, I guess whenever Jung is ready, like, Jace Jung, like, is he going to be ready to debut this year or next year? They probably don't know. So they went and got, like, a stockholder guy. Oh, yeah, I heard about Greg Hardy. He was supposed to be good, too. Yeah, Royals won't be anything special. They'll be just about what they was last year. I don't know, though. Yeah, I mean, I guess... seems like the Tigers and the Royals have just been very disappointing lately. They just don't really do anything. Sort of exist. At least the Royals have like a decent rebuild plan going on. Play with the Dallas Cowboys. I think he wanted to pursue something crucial. Oh, more crucial. Yeah, I don't know. Greg Hardy, I don't know. He was just a wasted NFL talent. Like he could have been really good. But I guess beating up chicks and doing I think he was smoking weed before they stopped caring about people smoking weed. Like Josh Gordon, Ricky Williams, kind of Greg Hardy, but he also beat up women, so not really him. They really got fucked by the NFL's weed policy. So did Martavis Bryant, for a former Steeler, right? They fucked him good on just fucking weed. It's pretty stupid. personally never really understood what the fucking why people get suspended over that. It's like I guess it's a performance enhancer. I guess it's a crazy argument to try to make, but I guess you can make it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a little bit more complicated than that. Extra. There's cyclical. The Tigers and the Indians are very cyclical in their backs and forths. And the Twins and Tigers, it's usually one team just dominates the other. So Josh Gordon went to the XFL. Martavis Bryant, oh my God, if he didn't get technically banned from the league, we could have. Yeah, Martavis plays for one of the XFL teams right now. I believe he's on the Vipers. There's a team that has like 2 good wide receivers from the NFL for like being an XFL team. It's like Martavis Bryant and like who the fuck was it? There's like another pretty good receiver from the NFL that was in the XFL that's coming up. He's on the same team as Martavis Bryant. Hold on, let me look something up. I got Luis Perez at quarterback. Oh, it's Geronimo Allison, formerly of the Steelers. What? The Tigers have been in baseball longer than most teams. I guess. The Seattle Sea Dragons. That's cool. Nope. Not that I know if there'd be 2. Usually, leagues don't add 1 team at a time. That's pretty retarded. The only league that has to do that is hockey because they can't afford to add 2 teams at a time. The MLB can afford to put you don't want to do like odd numbers. That's kind of fucking stupid. So no, there'd be 2, not 1. I haven't heard anything about the baseball wanting to expand. I don't think there's enough demand for the MLB to expand right now. But it's an interesting thought, right? It's like, where would they go? Maybe somewhere in Mexico they'd want to put a team. But I think they're kind of regretting putting teams in different countries after COVID. They're like, see, this is a bad idea. And they're like, everybody's struggling with this. Maybe we shouldn't have did that. Taylor Heineke. No, he's a backup. What's wrong with him as a backup? Like, everyone just goes like, oh, that guy isn't good enough to win a Super Bowl. He'll be in the XFL. Or he'll just be a backup. Like, he's about as good as Chad Henne was. That's all he's got to do. Brian Hoyer never had to go play in a shitty league. He just was the backup. I think they even let him start for a split second, kind of like other backups get the shot. Well, some guys are just backups. And Taylor Heineke's a backup. It is what it is. Yeah, I'd love to be a backup quarterback in the NFL. Are you kidding me? I'd brag about that job. I'd be like, yeah, I'm just a backup in the NFL. Oh, like what position? Oh, quarterback, Yeah, some guys are just fucking backups. I think Paxton Lynch might actually be in the XFL, though. He's not even good enough to be a backup. Like, if you don't make it as a backup in the NFL, you might just hang it up. Be like, I ain't gonna ever make it. Time to just go into coaching. Which is why a lot of OCs are failed quarterbacks. Well, not really failed. They just, like, their career ended in the NFL. They couldn't, it is what it is, one reason or the other. Like Cliff Kingsbury, he was a quarterback. I'm sure you know that by now, but he went so far as to be on the Patriots roster at one point. I don't really know what happened after him. After that, I don't, he was there at some point though. I believe we drafted him. Uh, I don't know. Baseball players actually make real money, unlike football players. So want to know what the major difference between all other contracts and baseball player contracts? If you sign a contract with the baseball player to like a contract, say you sign him like 10 years, 300 million, and he sucks and then retires after a year, you owe him 9 years and $270 million. Bad management. And you can't just throw a bunch of talent together in baseball and go work. That's not how the sport works. They have no idea how to build a team correctly. Like there's like an actual art to like team chemistry, team talent building with the right guys. Sometimes just having the most expensive team doesn't mean you're gonna win shit. Look at the Yankees. What if they won one title? Look at the Dodgers. What if they won one title in the last 20 years? Between the two of them, they got two. And they're the richest teams in sports. Like they probably spend more money than it's crazy. They spend like $300 million a year on their like rosters, just in like payroll salary. The Mets are up there too. What are they gonna win? Nothing. In baseball, it's not who you sign. It's like, well, it is, but like, it's who and why you sign them, not just who you sign. If you're just signing like the biggest names you can get your hands on, it doesn't mean shit. What if they don't like each other? What if there's no chemistry on that team? That's actually a bigger problem than just not having any stars. It's having a bunch of stars and none of them hit well together. Because then you're an easy clowning target, like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California, on the west side of the United States. Established. I don't. Their title name is long these days. Yeah, baseball contracts rule. You get a 100% guaranteed contract. You make some fucking real money in baseball. Athletics or the Royals? Probably the A's until they get the fuck out of that stadium that they're in. If they can move the Vegas or the Athletics down to Vegas, they'll be all right. But for now, it's fucking probably the Athletics. The fucking team's a shithole. God awful stadium. First and foremost, god awful stadium. Nobody wants to play there. The owners just trade away everybody as soon as they're entering their fourth year of their contract. They sign bottom of the barrel players. Yeah, I don't care about your. Yeah, it's not that team. No, there's way worse teams than the Pirates or whoever you're saying. It's the it's the Athletics. That's the worst team to be on. NFL players have a large pool of players to replacement them. No, they don't. They proved that in the strike era. You don't want to watch a shitty strike football. There's nobody to replace any of the top athletes in the world. The product will be unmistakably garbage. If you don't believe me, go watch shitty minor. Go watch the USFL. That's the replacements you'd be watching. And boy, will that suck a bag of dicks. Same with baseball, same with fucking NBA, hockey. All of the replacements would be like the college level. And unless you really like college sports, that's fucking awful. Well, I like the passion behind it, not the skill level. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, you don't appreciate the skill level. Google exists. They don't exist. Sorry, I don't know who you're talking about. Or is that some like MILB team, minor league baseball team? Oh, the Guardians? No. They're pretty mid. They just kind of exist. I don't know. Very unimportant team in baseball history. They're typically a team that everybody just gets players from. So I don't know. They're kind of just there. They're like a transition team for good players. They like, all right, I started off in Cleveland, now I'm off to a better team. Overall, the Twins, because I think they've maybe won a World Series in the last 100 years. If not, then I don't know. They're both garbage, dude. If I'm being honest with you, like both the teams suck. Like they're usually just fucking launching pad teams where like players go to start their career because they got drafted there. Like I don't know. They're owned by cheap motherfuckers, and they never hold talent. They're just kind of like they're dwarfed immensely by like even the Royals' like very limited success. The Royals have been good for 2 years, probably in the last 100 years, and that's far more successful than anything Cleveland's done. And I think far more successful than anything the Twins have done as well. Like, and they've only been good literally in 1985 and 2016. The Royals are better than them, I'm pretty sure. The Twins haven't won a playoff game since 2004. Like, a playoff game, not just playoff series. Their last playoff win was almost 20 years ago, and they make the playoffs like every 3-4 years. Sometimes every year they make it. For like stretches there, they're not like a non-making. They just get swept every time. White Sox are probably better just because they've won more World Series recently. Yeah, that's cool. I'm not going season off last season. I'm going like long term. You're saying franchise. The Guardians are one of the worst franchises in baseball. Not the worst, but one of them. They've never done anything. I'm sorry if that's your favorite baseball team, but like I didn't know if you know this, but they're fucking garbage. They've never been a good team. They never will be. They'll always kind of just choke out in the playoffs or lose the World Series like they always do. I don't know, why do you care so much? I don't want to talk about this team. Yeah, the Athletics are the worst team. I'm sorry to tell you. They're fucking garbage. Why don't you ever notice you guys only have good players for 4 years at a time and then they're gone? You notice like you had good players and then all of them got traded last offseason, like literally every single one, and now you guys suck. No, you are. You're not an Athletics fan. You just don't know your team's history. I just did. I just explained to you in every single way how your team's the worst. You notice how you have 0 World Series? Cool. You have 0 and every player on that team is gone. Look at your team. Go look at the roster and then look at it today. There isn't a single player that you can remember. All your pitchers are gone. All your best players are gone. Only players who are there are the fucking bottom of the barrel shitheads. Cool. And we still have way more success than the A's have had. When was the last time you guys won anything? I bet you it wasn't in the 80s. When was the Athletics' last World Series win? Go ahead and tell me. I said World Series win, you fucking retard. I don't care about playoff wins. That doesn't mean anything. Cool, I don't care. Again, when was your last World Series win? Have you ever won one? If the answer is no, then yeah, you guys are garbage. And have fun when your team gets moved to Vegas. It's fucking garbage, bottom of the barrel team. You want to know a fun fact? The Tigers beat the Athletics to go to the World Series in 2006. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Okay. How many division titles do you guys have in the last 10 years? Probably not as many as the Tigers do. We won 4 straight. That probably beats your whole catalog. We have 4 in the last 10 years, and we were garbage for 6 of them. Since like 2014, 2015. And then we'd won it from 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014. I think we also won it in 2015. You forget how long the Tigers were good for. We dominated the early 2000s, or the late 2000s and early 2010s. Well, pandemic year, yeah, whatever. I mean, do you count the Dodgers World Series ring? Question. Okay. Just making sure, because if you would have said no, I'd have been like, linear division title doesn't count. And it doesn't, by the way. Congrats, you won a 60-game division title. That's really impressive, man. I don't know how you guys pulled that off. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. You won a whole like 30 games and won a division. That's wild. I don't really hold that season in any high regard. I kind of do the playoffs. That's about it. I give the Dodgers the credit for winning the title, but I don't really care if you made the playoffs that year. That proves nothing that year. That means you're good for about 60 games. You obviously don't watch baseball, so I'm not going to bother explaining to you how baseball works. But do you believe that, like, if you start the season good for 60 games, you're going to have a good season? Like, you're going to finish a good season up. Royals won a World Series recently. The Guardians, they just are better. And the Twins are just, they just win more. Because from like most of the time the A's suck, dude. I don't know what you're doing. You don't watch baseball. So I'm not really engaging with you in any serious matter. Just barely answering your questions and yeah, I don't care about wild card appearances. I don't fucking care. What do you do with first round eliminations? What happened in 2021 last year? It's not a 3-year stretch. I don't. Cool. You won one division in the COVID year. Wow. I don't even know if that's true. I don't even think you guys won the AFC West that year. I'm pretty sure the Astros did. So I'm gonna call bullshit that you even won a division. I sincerely doubt you won a division over Houston. So I'm not even gonna look it up. Nah, I don't feel like it. Favorite baseball players of all time? Greg Maddux, Trevor Hoffman, Rivera, Verlander, Miguel, and then Barry Bonds. Those are my favorites. What's up, Tigers? Did they? And that just goes to show you how retarded that season was. By the way, again, you don't understand how baseball works. So again, you avoided my question. Do you think a team that does good in 60 games is going to be a surefire team to be good that season, like like a normal season where there's 100 more games to be played? This is how I determine if I'm going to engage them in their baseball comments anymore. No, it doesn't mean shit, actually. Okay. All right, we're moving on. Because if you go 30-30 like the Astros did, and then you win like 50 of your next 100 games, or like 60 of 40 of your next 100, you're making the playoffs. and you're like dominating into the playoffs with like 90 some plus wins. Do you see how that's a retarded stat there? Do you see how 60 games don't mean shit? Oh, you can go 500 and literally be a playoff team at 60 games. You know how many teams go 500 and make the playoffs? Dog, do you know what the old idiom is? Like for 80 games? 500. You know that's like what the people say. When you hit 81 or 82 games, the goal is to be 500 or a little better. So when you tell me a 60-game season, a team goes and has a good 60-game run, that doesn't mean anything in a real season. You know what I mean? It's a blip on the fucking ass cheek. Especially when most people don't even really consider the season started till game 81, game 82. Because that's when you got to kind of kickstart your season off after. If you can tread water and get to 40 and 40, you're good to go. You should only lose another 20 games for what's left. If you're actually a good team. Maybe 30 games. Get to 70 losses. Nationals, they're pretty young though, aren't they? When did I might be no, they were different teams, weren't they? They were the Expos and shit. Yeah, the Nationals are pretty bad too. But again, that title kind of saved them. I'd say the Royals if they hadn't won a World Series, dude. It's literally just like the A's are just so fucking cheap and they barely win anything and they always lose really quick in the playoffs. And it's like, at least Cleveland can show up in the World Series. They may never win it, but like they'll pop in there from time to time. And Minnesota just chokes in the playoffs. I don't really know what's going on with them, but they're consistently a very good baseball team, and then they just go in the playoffs and choke on a fat one. That's why I would say they're probably a little bit better than the A's. But again, it's just the A's. Nobody goes and watches them games. The city of Oakland don't even want them there anymore. Like they're probably going down to Vegas. Like it seems like a really sad situation. The owners don't like them. They always just get rid of every single good player as soon as they're about to go into contract years, and then you guys are rebuilding again. Pretty sure you guys are rebuilding right now. Despite having no reason to need to rebuild with the contracts you guys had on that team. I think the A's are broke all the time and they don't spend any money. Or they spend, or like they have a bad they must have a bad contract or something that's got them fucked up for a little while. What's up, fake LeBron? No, I don't know. There's nothing really to roast him about. Oh. Yankees? Well, Yankees get hot every like 4 or 5 years. They'll go on like near worlds. They could. I don't know. I don't really like their pitching. They should be a pretty good team. Like they're always going to be super competitive, or at least somewhat competitive. I think they only had a really bad stretch from like the early 2010s into like the middle 2010s. That was kind of a shitty run for them. They didn't have the best decade, if I remember right there, but like, I don't know, they won the World Series in 2009. So, but then proceeded to have one of the worst decades of the Yankees history. But still, I think like, I don't know, they still won one pretty recent. So. But I guess when you're a team like the Yankees, that's probably not good enough, right? Like you can't be like, well, we won a World Series somewhat recently. It's like, well, none of the players on that team still play baseball in the MLB. Like they retired? Yeah, because of old age, most of them. That fucking A-Rod's like 50, dudes. What are you doing? A-Rod's been done through a whole Hall of Fame cycle. They didn't let him in. Missed all the voting. I don't know. Appreciate everyone for coming in. I see we hit over 10 likes, so I appreciate that. Very kind. If you haven't dropped one, consider doing so. It helps stream out and yada, 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 yada. All that YouTube shit. Oh, Kaseki striking. Wonder if that means he's getting released. I heard he's probably going to get cut. So, to kind of talk about football again, do you guys hear the Jalen Ramsey situation? They might be looking to cut him if they can't find a way to trade him. It would be a cap-saving measure because I believe the Rams are $1 billion over the cap right now. So they kind of have to start thinking about who's going to be a cap casualty, who's got to go. And it's looking like some people are saying Ramsey. Ramsey said he doesn't want to go, but the way that the Rams kind of talked about it, like they certainly don't want it. Like they want to keep him, right? Like obviously you'd want to keep Jalen Ramsey. But they got to do what's best for the team is ultimately what he said. And if it comes down to it, and whatever is best for the team is what they got to do. That could be interesting. Keep an eye out on Jalen Ramsey. Though very doubtful anything happens there, it's just something to keep an eye on. I think there's going to be some shock moves again like last offseason. Like I think Stephon Diggs is going to get traded potentially. I think it's very possible we see Hopkins get traded. Well, he's getting traded. That's not even fucking news. I'm covering because I forgot the name I was talking about. Ramsey, right. Wonder which of these offensive coordinators. I have a lot of faith for the Ravens and Todd Monken. Monken? I can't fucking say weird last names. Diggs worth 2 first rounders? No, not at this point. What is he, like 32, 33? He could probably get away with just 1 first rounder. And if you guys are already in the receiver category and you want to win a Super Bowl now, it makes sense, right? Plus, like, Diggs has good chemistry with his brother. Diggs grew up, he wants to be a college. Like, there's pretty good shot that he might go there. Bengals, maybe. But I think if you're the Bengals, you might just want to pay Jesse Bates so he doesn't leave instead of having to go bring somebody new in. Take him back, yeah. I wonder where he'd go. Probably to New England. We are cornerback. We are the place for corners in New England. Can you imagine Jalen Ramsey with Bill Belichick's coaching? It's an easy player of the year candidate. That's a decoy right there. If you can take Gilmore and turn him into a decoy, you fucking watch what we do with Jalen Ramsey. We can take 5'5" corners and turn it into fucking hell mode on people. Go ahead and give us Jalen Ramsey. Good fucking lord. Remember when we had Darrelle Revis and won a Super Bowl? It basically would be like that. Yeah, no, I think Bates is leaving too, actually. I want the Patriots very, very badly to go get Jesse Bates. I like really badly want Bates in New England or on Detroit, one of the two. You guys want to hear a very early hot take that I actually have that's kind of serious? I think Sauce Gardner won't be a Jet long term. Like he'll probably do his whole rookie contract, right? Maybe do 3 years and get traded because the value situation. But I fully expect him to wind up in Detroit. Like by some weird, like he's going to be a Lion. That's where his team is going to be. Maybe I'm overthinking how much he likes the city, but man, he talks about Detroit way more than most athletes. Why would I be trolling? Has nothing to do with the Jets or anything wrong with the Jets. Why wouldn't, if the Lions are a decent team when he hits free agency or like is close to hitting free agency? Oh, dude, he's gonna want to go play for his team. Dude, he's like a lifelong Lions fan. Like, you don't think that like playing for like the city he grew up in and grew up in the shadows of all those tall, like, I don't know, man, that's probably pretty fucking cool. I don't know. Especially if they're good. I don't know. Shit. Make a decent little chunk of money. Get to live at home. Get to play for your childhood team. But again, if the Jets pay him a bunch of money, again, there's too many benefits almost to leaving. But again, it doesn't seem to dissuade players from leaving the Jets anymore. So, why do you think that's trolling? It's a rather serious take I have, actually. Well, players don't do that. Oh, okay, I mean, Tyreek Hill did. It's like, well, they gave him more guaranteed. Yeah, and less overall money. Yeah, but it was about the guaranteed. No, it's because he wanted to go play in Miami, where he's like calls his home. So, dude, once you get a ring, I think some people just go, I'm gonna go home, but like, so that could also be the problem though. If the Jets don't win anything, I don't know. I don't think Sauce is gonna run back to Detroit where they just don't win. But if he's got a ring, oh yeah, easiest thing. He'll probably just go home. I literally, if Jalen Ramsey actually gets released, he's probably going to sign with Kansas City. Dude, am I not supposed to think that like a player who would fit into New England's defense like a glove would sign with the Patriots? Even if I wasn't a Patriots fan, do you know where the teams I'd put Jalen Ramsey? New England, Kansas City. Those would be my two top teams where he'd go to. Number one, defensive fit plus Belichick. That could literally put him from a normal defensive corner, one of the best in the game, to the best in the game, and also win him a Defensive Player of the Year award, which would, make him more money on his next coming contract in 2024, I believe. And Belichick does have I don't know, probably the best active coaching record with defensive backs in football. That's stupid. And Sauce literally grew up a Lions fan, man. I don't what do you think? He just abandoned Detroit and he's like, I don't even know about that city. I may have all those charities in the city and all that other shit I do, and I'm part of I'm very involved in that community, but fuck the football team, especially if the Jets are really bad and they happen to still be on the rise like they are currently. I don't ever want to play for that team. Nah, they're only going to sign with Kansas City, dude. That's it. Or the Jags. Everybody wants to sign with Jacksonville for no fucking reason. He was drafted there. Cool. He also fucking hated it and demanded to be traded within a year and a half of being there. Did he even make it his whole rookie season in that fucking shithole? Nah, he doesn't. Why would he want to go back to that shithole that he demanded his way out of a year into a contract? Just like Minka Fitzpatrick did. You know what I've never seen in New England? A player demand to leave. As a rookie. Yeah, I wonder if he would be rooting for the... let's see, what team does Jalen Ramsey play for? Oh, the Los Angeles Rams. One of the rivals of the Los Angeles Chargers. Wonder who he'd be rooting for. The team that stole his city? I don't know. He probably doesn't hate him, but I think he's just watching football. Maybe he wants to go back. But he didn't fuck with that city the first time he went down there. I don't know. He didn't really like being there. But again, I don't know. You guys were fucking god awful for them for that a year and a half or whatever was going on. I don't know what was going on with you guys. That was weird. He might. Just as likely he wants to be a Patriot. No, but the most likely thing to happen, like I was saying though with Ramsey, is like they just work out a pay situation. Like it's fun to speculate, but like I said earlier, the most likely thing is he just stays with the Rams. He's just probably not leaving. More than likely, I think they just restructure it and give him a fat ass bonus and less year-to-year money. Probably do that with a bunch of their players. Stafford will probably restructure and yada yada yada. The lost Jake Paul brother and Cooper Kupp. Have you ever looked at Cooper Kupp and been like, damn, he looks just like he looks like he could be like if like the father Paul cheated with like a shorter woman? Have you seen fucking Cooper Kupp without his helmet on and then looked at one of the Pauls? It's like he looks like he could be like their cousin, like a slightly off little brother who's got a different mom. The fuck is this? I'm just looking at it weird. They're made from the same weird cut of white guy. The athletic blonde build. Those are probably Germans. I don't even know what they would be. You know, I'd feel ripped off if my last name was also a first name. I'd be like, man, my name is 3 first names. This is stupid. I go by any one of these names and it completely makes sense. Be bummed out if my ancestors just picked the last first name as the last name and just a bunch of male heirs all through the years. Like, damn, you guys couldn't, like, everybody else has these cool fucking last names and like you dickheads really just like have the last name Logan. Yep, named after our great grandpa Logan. His son was Bill Day Logan, and then they dropped the day and just became Logan. It was the surname, and that's how a lot of last names I think started to exist, or they exist because of like the trade you did. Like for example, like Smith, right? Exactly what you might think it is. They're a smith of some sort, whether that be a metalsmith. I think that's all the smiths that there are is metalsmithing. I don't know what's real and what's from video games. I'm pretty sure they can make metal though in real life. I'm pretty sure that's what they did. I read something and I got completely lost on what I was talking about. Yeah, no, it'd be like Smith and the guy was a blacksmith. So it'd be like Bob the blacksmith or you know what I mean? So it would just eventually got shortened to Bob the Smith. Bob Smith. Like you'd have a family of people who all work as blacksmiths because that's just like the family trade. And then that's how you get like a last name of Smith eventually because it just became easier to not say like, well, my name is John of fucking this city and I'm a blacksmith. Yeah, my name was Rob O. Roberts. Like, I mean, I do fucking lazy bastard parents. That'd be even more of a bum out if my last name was Robert. I bet fucking that's cool. Thanks. Why did you name me like this? I'm just glad I don't have a hick ass last name or a first name. My first and middle name were supposed to be flipped when my parents initially came up with the name. My name was going to be William Robert, but they realized last minute that that's Billy Bob if you make it a nickname. Thankfully, my dad was paying attention. They're like, wait a minute, we can't call him that. Why? My mom was like, why? That's a good name. And my dad's like, yeah, it's a great name, but like, fucking Billy Bob. And my mom went, oh yeah, let's just flip it around. And then I became Robert William. So my name was supposed to be Will. I got fucked over at the last minute. And that's one of my favorite names is Will. And I'm like, motherfucker. For a solid little while, I went by the name Will because I was really rebellious when I learned my name was supposed to be Will. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go by Will then. And technically, I could go by that because that was the name they decided on. They were about to write that shit down, but then my dad realized, fucking thankfully, that Billy Bob would have been my nickname, and that doesn't set you up for success down the road. I'm a big believer of like names and like what they could like signify for a kid's future. And I do fully believe that if I would have been named Billy Bob, I'd be working on trucks. No, I don't. I think the Vikings need to get a young quarterback. Cousins is getting kind of old, and I don't think they have a replacement plan for him. If I'm the Vikings, I draft Hendon or Henson, whatever the fuck his first name is. I draft Hooker out of Tennessee. I think he's going to be pretty good. And if I'm the Vikings, since I know I have Cousins for at least another year or two, you can kind of sit and stash or draft and stash the guy. Let him recover from his knee injury, and then fucking morph him. Build him in the way you want him. That sounds really aggressive and predatory, but that's how they got to move in football. I got to move in these streets. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Hooker is probably better than Bennett, but Hooker's going to be a freak athlete with a monster arm. It's one of those situations where it's like they're both older, so just fucking take Hooker. He's if I'm the Lions, I'm going to do that too. Like not even lying. If you're the Lions, take Hendon Hooker if he's available in like the 3rd or 4th round. He's a very good steal for a team that can stash and draft him, and then develop his talent. Because dude, it's kind of like similar to Anthony Richardson, from Florida, but like Hooker's got a way better arm. Dude, that kid's gonna be good. He might be, if he wasn't hurt, I honestly think he might be better than CJ Stroud, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm fucking, I don't really believe in Ohio State quarterbacks, so. Yeah. But again, I think Hooker was the best NFL prospect in from the things I've been kind of starting to watch and look at. I'm like, dude, this is Lamar Jackson if Lamar could throw it 60 yards and wasn't as like it's like a little bit of trade off of speed and elusivity, but boy does he got it's a fucking 60-yard pretty effortless bombs. And if you can do that at least once, if you got that on your arsenal, you're good to go. You don't need to do it consistently. Maybe like what, 2-3 times a game you got to throw a fucking pass like that. And if you're doing it more than that, you're down by a lot of points and your defense has fucked you. It's like, damn it. Or you screwed the pooch earlier in the game and now you're in weird catch-up mode. How long? I'm gonna go check something. What's the stream doing? Yeah, pretty good. We got up to a shocking number of views at 73. That's pretty good for the way this stream has kind of been weird. Appreciate it, everybody, for popping in. It's kind. Yeah, but I understand at this point the NFL is dead on this channel for a few weeks. That's fine, though. Again, it's still going to cover it. If like big stuff comes up, obviously we'll talk about it. Probably people on talk about stuff. But, we got drafts and free agency. All kinds of fun stuff to cover. But I think it is that time of the year when NFL streams seem to die out for whatever purposes, especially at this channel. Cleveland is a sports city. I've never been to the city, so I have no comment on the first. Oh, pretty mediocre. Oh, not very good. Not much worse than Detroit. Detroit may be a little better because at least they have the Red Wings and the Pistons, who are sometimes good. Yeah, I mean, they got one. I mean, like, I don't know. The Red Wings are considered like the best team in North American hockey, or in non, in the United States NHL history. Not, not in Canada. They obviously got the Maple Leafs, but I think the Red Wings are number 2 all time. So, maybe number 3 with another Canada team ahead of us, but I don't know. Worst franchise in the NFL. Oh, this is so subjective. Jets are really bad, dude. Jets, Texans. I'm not gonna put the Jaguars. They're too newish still. Plus, they're turning it around. Panthers are fucking atrocious. Man, they're still too young. I don't really want to include them. The Jets it might be the Jets. It could be the Lions. Dude, the Lions might actually be one of the worst. Like, no disrespect to the Lions. But until like literally like 2 years ago, they've been fucking god awful. Dude, they've been god awful since the NFL merged. To be like one of the oldest actual teams in fucking football in the Detroit Lions, and to just have like 3 championships from prior to the NFL's existing, I don't think that's okay. Jets haven't won a World Series since the 1960s, or a Super Bowl since 1960s. They're really bad, dude. I don't even know if they've won an AFC title game since then. You gotta understand, man, that's not good. Their last good playoff win was a decade and almost a decade and a half ago now. Think about what you're saying. You're saying the last time these guys were even any good. Yeah, Lions are up there. Jets are up there. I guess they've got the one World Series to fall back on back in the 60s. Yeah, it's just a perpetual mess. Browns. Yeah. Are we talking the whole history of the Browns or like the current iteration of the Browns? Like the one that like just popped back up in like the 2000s because they got bought by like Bill Cosby or some shit in Oprah. The whole okay, so like the first half of the Ravens history then, or well, the first like 9 fucking tenths of the Ravens history that they somehow pretend is theirs, but it's like, why would you ever want to claim that history? Don't, just give them back. It's not a history you want, Baltimore, and that actually happened. Baltimore's like, yeah, you guys are the Browns. We have nothing to do with that team. Little fun piece of history. You ever notice how the Browns and the Ravens play each other like really aggressively for some reason? And it's like, yeah, I know they're rivals, but it feels like this game is like very personal for everybody. Yeah, because they're the same team. It's just that I like that. Like, it's like when you see the Texans and Titans play and you get this like weird feeling. You're like, this feels a little bit deeper than a football game, doesn't it? Yeah, it's because like one team doesn't think the other team should have the identity that they. It's hilarious. Very good tension in those in those pieces of storytelling for the NFL. All right, though. Who's that? I'm sorry. I have like 50 teams in my head right now I'm thinking of. I apologize. That's my bad, man. Who's them? I don't do pronouns. You hear me? Man, Oh, the Browns. No, I don't think they're the worst. Nah. Oh man, that 3-year stretch was fucking unreally bad, dude. They're definitely up there. It might be between the Lions and Browns. It might be those two. Um, but with the Browns, yeah, I don't do liberal pronouns, dude. Well, Rob doesn't do liberal pronouns. Rob's a real alpha male. Rob even has begun to speak in the third person. So that way Rob doesn't accidentally use lib pronouns. Now me, or fuck. Now me, of course. Fucking freaking libtard loser me, dude. Guess I should dye my hair then, dude. Just ruined my whole identity as a freaking alpha male, dude. I just use pronouns, dude. I just did it again. 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 Somebody stop this thing. Just goes into a crazy loop. Have to go to a mental institution. He's so afraid of pronouns, he can't even. the pronoun I fucks with him. Jags. Well, the Jags are kind of a new team, right? Well, what year were they introduced? The 90s? I kind of have a trouble with teams that aren't, I know they're getting old now, but it's like, I don't know. They're also like fucking like brand new, basically. The fucking Jaguars still got the sticker on them. I'm pretty sure Houston and Jacksonville came in at the same time, right? Or was it Houston and Carolina? And then the Jags and not Cardinals. Might be. Yeah, no. Carolina. Oh, it was Carolina that came in. Yeah, okay. It was Jags and Panthers, and the other one was Texans and Browns. Yeah, right. Yeah, Texans Browns. Because they brought back a team because fucking the team moved over to Baltimore, so I think they brought in the Browns again. I think that was supposed to be Houston's companion team to joining the league. Because they do 2 at a time. That way, because they like it's a balance issue. I'll just look. Who joined the same year as the Texans? What other? Browns came around like 2000. Yeah, same with Didn't Houston only come up in 2002 as well? Yeah, they did. So like Houston only came around in 2002, so that could have been about the year they brought back the Browns. They're just like, all right, okay, Houston, you can have a team, but you fucking, we're bringing back Cleveland. Yeah, the new Browns is what you can call them. The Browns never technically went away; they just moved to Baltimore. They misunderstood that whole like moving on up to the east side thing to literally mean like, all right, we just move a little bit east. Direction, I have no idea if what I just said was correct. I'm fucking tired. Well, I don't think I'm gonna private this video actually, so everybody gets to enjoy it. Even the people who don't pay for it. Sorry, Jags. I can record a super secret special video just for the paying members of this channel. Where I give all the secrets and how to be a man. You drive your Bugatti in your clean room while listening to well, Jax, I openly tell people not to fucking subscribe to the channel. I'm like, this is a bad idea. I would save your money. Again, I appreciate everyone who does, join the membership, but it's like, it feels like I don't know what to do. That would be good exclusivity for the people because like, I don't know. I guess like in the future I could do early release on videos, but like that would mean I'm making videos pretty consistently. Stuff like that. But like, see, that's fine. As long as you're trying to, build up the tape brand and help him get out of jail, It's a good thing. Very top G behavior. Maybe one day Andrew will let you drive his Bugatti. And one day you can ask him, he'll be like, go ahead and ask it then. Look at something real quick. What we got tomorrow? Oh, we got XFL games we can do tomorrow. Okay. What do we got? We got the Houston Roughnecks versus the Orlando Guardians. The Arlington Renegades versus the Vegas Vipers. We'll probably watch Orlando and Houston. And then probably St. Louis and San Antonio Brahmas. No, I appreciate you extra. Nah, I wouldn't be able to take any of that seriously, Jags. I'd get annoyed about halfway through and I'd just start fucking shitlording it. It'd be going really well too, and I'd be like, all right, I'm fucking so tired of this. And I'd be like, what? And I'd just kick everybody off and be like, that's how you do Sigma male shit. You don't let the debate finish. You decide when the debate is done. I'd play like Sigma male music. And be like, he's just gonna start shitlord. He's just gonna troll for the next hour. And then I just say like random Sigma male sayings with the music playing in the background, getting louder and quieter at random intervals. That's what if I lose my mind. That's why I couldn't do debates. As soon as I got a big audience, I'd be like, all right, it's time to fuck around now because I don't believe in any of this. This is boring. Let's see how fast I can make that number go back down to 0. Yeah, I couldn't do that, dude. I don't like debates. I can't watch them. Unless it's just straight up people screaming at each other, and then I'm like, this is really good shit. Yeah, I'm not a good person. At least I can admit that part of myself. I'm like, nah. I'd only do that to make people feel bad and shitty, and then I'd just be screaming and shit and unable to fucking contain my chimp behavior. I'd be like, sorry guys, I know you guys were having a good conversation. And there was some good amount of people here, and I fucked it up. But, that shit was fucking cringe. You guys care way too much about this shit. It's like the people who care way too much about circumcision, dude. I'm like, there's other hobbies out there. Like, you could be against it or for it. That's, it's whatever your prerogative may be. But, like, if you can say more about other than what you've heard circumcision is, you need to get a different set of hobbies because you're reading about dick foreskin and shit. Again, you can have your own beliefs. You can want all that and be against it, but you don't gotta make it your whole thing. I know way too many people that are fucking way too into that topic. They should have never did it. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, dude. I don't even remember having one. Can't tell. It looks like a fucking dog's dick from what I've seen. No thanks. Fucking weird mutants. Fucking not going to heaven dicks. Have fun explaining that one to God. Losers. Guess who's going right in? Me. But hey, God, I did all the fucking fancy work. Not me personally, but I went through a lot as a baby. Sometime next week, JJ. Plus, we did like some MLB talk this stream. There's a few things I want to still look into. I don't care about any of that, dude. That's cool. Good for him. He's also a creep. Allegedly. Is it even alleged? Yeah, it's alleged. It's alleged. I don't care. Anyone who cares about this is fucking weird, dude. The only reason I care about this is like to be like, yeah, people who care about this specific subject are real strange people to me. Because the people who are willing to show that they care about it, you know how much more they care about it when they're around their other fucking dick mutilated obsessed friends? Oh, scary number of people very focused on one specific thing that isn't really that big of a deal. And they make up like evil intentions behind it. Like they're eating it. It's like, I'm pretty sure they're just throwing it in a bag, tossing it in the dumpster for the evening. I don't really know what you do with something like that. I'm assuming you just throw it into the dumpster with some fucking paper towel wrapped around it. Very medically trained, if you can't tell. I know. Can't talk about most squeamish shit because it fucks my head up and might give me a stomach ache. Feeling I'm a puke. This is a box full of cat shit. Oh, why do I want to work at a zoo? To me, that's the worst place ever, by the way, is the idea of working at a zoo. I'd be like, what did I do to deserve this? Why do I gotta clean out the animals' shitholes? Why don't they learn to use a fucking toilet like an adult? I don't like animals. Fucking rude people. I'm sure most of them retards could be trained how to use a toilet too, so I don't even want to hear like, oh, it's tough to do. Oh yeah, it's sure tough to sit down and let shit fall out of you. Fucking that takes a big brain. Alright, I think that's a good natural spot to wrap up at. Alright, well, it was a 2-hour stream. I appreciate everyone who came by. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I don't really know what the fuck I was talking about, but I don't know. It kept an audience more than my hardline football stream was gonna do. I came out here with like 50 different topics in mind, and then I started going, and explaining what they would be, and everybody left. So I went, all right, I guess we'll start talking about weird shit, and it's been pretty. We just kind of sauntered down to this point here. It was a weird stream, man. It was dead for a minute, and I was like, oh, guys. I had to tell Jags and Ape, I was like, I don't think the stream's going to make it. Donnie, too. Or Danny, anyway. But I just got to keep reminding myself that it's football season. It's done. Overall content wise, I would say yeah, because I think I'm just getting back into a groove of being comfortable not having anyone to bounce off of, and just kind of like kind of feeling like I'm back in my older days of streaming, of like being like, oh, I'll just have to fucking have content, because I do have a bunch of content bulbs in my head now. I'm making sure when I go live to have like a bunch of things to talk about in case things go flat. And I'm like, all right, as long as we can stay above X amount of people, I don't really care about how many people are chatting. I can deal with one or the other. Small amount of people watching, a lot of chatter, okay. Decent sized people, like nobody chatting, okay. And yesterday's stream was a little better. We hit 100 like total views almost. So I think it was like 98 when the stream, or it was like 92 when this VOD went up. So I don't know, not too bad. Last couple of straight, it's getting a little better. It's fine. Again, it's not the numbers that's the problem. It's like, man, that'd be a sad stream if like somebody watched a replay of a 2-hour stream and the chat didn't move when they, because you know how like all the chat loads in when you watch a VOD back, like there's nothing moves, and it's just like 2 hours of me like kind of like glancing at the clock, like wonder if somebody's gonna come in. It's just like that would be fucking, yeah, that'd be bad. All right, though. I don't really have anything else to talk about. I don't think I'm gonna go live tomorrow night, mainly because there's a bunch of like NBA All-Star shit going on. There's XFL football going on, but I will be live for the first XFL game, which starts at about you know what? I just fucking looked too. I think it's 3:30 Eastern Standard and 3 o'clock Eastern Standard. Okay, so we'll be live at 3 o'clock tomorrow. We'll cover the first XFL game. Pretty good. I'm excited. Any final things before I get the hell out of here? I wonder if the XFL is gonna let me show the game. Remember last time we were streaming the XFL, they just let people show the games. They were like, "Ah, fuck it, who cares?" That shit was awesome. I missed that was the XFL, right? When they had just kind of like these, or was that something else? Like the AAF? Where they just kind of didn't really give a shit. They just kind of let you just broadcast the game for some reason. Was that real? Was that a real thing? The thing I'm thinking of, Alliance of American Football or something like that? Was that a real, that recently happened, right? Or was I having a weird ass stream one day where there was just this other, there was like a third football league, but it was like the first one. It was like AAF, and then it became like, you know, the one. There's a lot of games. All right, I'm tired. I'm out of here, guys. My fucking brain isn't working anymore. I'm like losing my thoughts here. I'm fucking beat. I need sleep. Fall asleep. All right, guys. I'm gonna take a nap. I'll wake up soon. What's this fake account? Hello. How's it going? You might actually be a real you might be a real person. Hopefully you're having a good day, but I'm getting out of here. I'm fucking beat and I'm ready to go sleep. I'm sorry about that. Just getting ready to play MLB. Oh, the show? Yeah, it's a great game. I wish they put it on PC pretty soon, but you know, fucking I don't really know what their plans are for the future of that one. Or at least make it so like you can access the game via, you know, Xbox Game Pass for PC, but yeah. Alrighty, everyone. I'll be live again tomorrow, like I said, for the XFL game. It'll be the first one, 3 o'clock Eastern Standard. I believe it's the Vipers and the again, I just looked at this. How I know the top. Yeah, it's the Vegas Vipers versus the Arlington Renegades. That's what I thought. Okay. I just couldn't remember the name Renegade. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all for coming through and leaving a like and just kind of hanging out and chit-chatting. I don't think I yelled at anyone today, so that's pretty good. Yeah, I was pretty chill. Give myself a nice pat on the back for not freaking out on anyone. Well, yeah, actually, no, I didn't freak out. Kind of got a little stern with extra, but I don't think that was serious. Oh yeah, Reformed Rob. I'm telling you guys, I'm turning into a saint slowly. All I gotta do is cure 1 or 2 people of illness, and I could become a saint. And I don't even believe in that shit. Anyone want to fool the church? Jags can try to act smart for a minute and just walk around like his normal self, and then I just touch him, and then we can train him to walk normal. You know what I mean? All right, I'm out of here, guys. Have a good night. Go Lions, go Tigers, and of course, it's always go Patriots. I'll see you tomorrow for the XFL. If not, I'll see you when I see you next. Thanks again. Have a good one. Bye.